and if you would give us 4 minutes to wrap up and tell us a little bit about your campaign.
Well, I think in the last dozen years, what I have done is become a student of Ashland. I have spent all of my time learning how this town works, learning who the players are, learning what the goals are, and trying very much to represent the people who live here. It's interesting to me what happens in the day, literally the day between the day you sit out there and the day you sit up here. When you're sitting out there, what happens is you've got a lot of ideas about how Ashland works, and you're absolutely sure all of yours are better than all the people who are sitting up here. And then suddenly you are up here on this side of the desk, and you are, in my case, somewhat humorously, the man. And people are very quick to criticize. This is hard. This is hard work, and I don't know how much you all know about what town council members get paid. I get $350 a month. We haven't taken a raise in over 10 years. That is precisely the amount of money I pay the lady who cleans my house, which I no longer have time to do because I do this. No one does town council because they make a fortune. Your county supervisors get paid 10 times what we get paid, and arguably we work just as hard. No one does this for, it's surely not the power, trust me. No one does this for any other reason than they have a deep, abiding love and commitment to the town. If you don't do that, you don't choose to stay here very long. This is not a job that's 9 to 5. This is a job that's 9 to 9. And for 12 years, I have been the luckiest person in the entire town. For 12 years, I have been entrusted to think long and hard about what our goals are, about how we take care of the town. I have been given the gift of taking care of my beloved. And my husband often says that he knows that he comes second to Ashland. He calls himself the second husband, which is sort of true. But this is a thing that I think I have grown to do well because I have committed to it. I have spent the time to commit to it. And I'm afraid I'm not going to take 4 minutes, Bill.
That's fine.
I'm going to say that I think I've run a steady home for 12 years. I think I have done my job. I think I have listened when I've been talked to. I think I've elicited responses. And I hope that you will trust me to do this for at least 4 more before I am far too old to continue. Thank you.
Terry Winston-Abri.
You know, I'm 58 years old, and most of those years I've spent in Ashland. And when I came back to Ashland in 1990, I saw that Ashland had really changed from the time that I left it in 1975. And I saw growth and development and new life, and it was exciting to me. But in 1990, I could not become a part of what I wanted to do, which was to get more involved in the town and do all the things, all the questions that you all have been asking about making people or helping people to become more involved in the town. I couldn't do those things because I'm a divorcee and I had an 11-year-old son. And my goal was to stay on his back and to make sure that his grades were kept up and that he was going to be able to get a full ride in college. And he did. And so in 1998, when he graduated, right before he graduated, I became involved in the political process and assisting 2 candidates to get on council. And so then I was able to work in the communities, not just my community, but in other communities as well, talking to people about what's happening in Ashland, becoming more part of what was going on in Ashland, and how we can feel that we belong to Ashland too. Because you see, while I was a little bit older at that point, I felt like, hey, I'm not the only one that's here that wants to be a part of it. But because of the way that Ashland was developed over the years, we still have some issues that we have to deal with. And so with those issues come separation and sometimes not necessarily an unwillingness to be together, but maybe just not knowing how to be together, because we haven't always been that way. It hasn't been the norm for us. So we have to go beyond what has become the norm and what has become familiar and comfortable, and come outside of that and press towards each other in a way that is going to be comfortable together. Working together in this town, making sure that we forge ahead to make this a brighter future for this town. We can work together as citizens of the town to make that happen. And so with our small businesses, with our other businesses, whether they're small or not, and with our attitudes, we want this place to be like an oasis. That's the idea. Because if we're the center of the universe, we need to start acting more like people would act in the center of the universe. And that's a place where when you go into a business, now I'll tell you where I like to go. Up in Blacksburg, I think it is, where Virginia Tech is. The people are so nice up there. My son had gone up there. We had gone because they were trying to get him to come up there and wrestle for them. But the kids were so nice. The people in the stores were so nice. And the people in the motel were nice.
30 seconds.
Everybody was nice. And that was a place where I said, God, I wouldn't mind living here. Now, that's how we want Ashland to be. We want Ashland to grow, yes, and we want it to grow moderately, but we also want its people to be happy. We want our people to feel comfortable with each other. And we want other people, when they come into the town of Ashland, to feel like they are a part of Ashland. We have a secure group of police officers who look after us, and I'm really grateful for that.
Okay, thank you. And let me turn to James Murray.
Thank you. Hopefully, despite my best efforts, I haven't entirely offended everybody over the age of 30 here. Yes, thank you. I said it earlier that I love the town of Ashland, that somehow it kept on drawing me back in despite my best efforts to leave, and I am so grateful that it has continued to do so. And I've finally given up and tried to incorporate myself as much as I possibly can. I've been happy with the way the town exists, the way that the town is running. I'm not running for town council because I am disgusted with the town or the council. I didn't write up some big list of demands and march on town hall saying, no, I'm going to kick you all out of office and replace it all with my own ideas. The town is running pretty well, and I want to make sure that it continues to run well. Now, I certainly am grateful for the breadth of experience of everybody that exists on the council now, but that's not to say that we don't need a younger voice on the council. We need to make sure that every constituency in Ashland is represented and that they're represented well. And while I don't have as many years of experience as the other members of the council, I hope that I've shown you this evening that I'm certainly willing to do the legwork. I'm certainly willing to do my homework when it comes to figuring out how the town is run. This has been nothing if not an incredibly educational process. And every single second that I learn new things about the town, I love the process more and more because there are so many different ways, so many different opportunities to get involved with this wonderful community. Now, I mentioned that I live on South Taylor Street. And this is a community where, you walk down the street and every single person waves at you. Everybody knows your name. Everybody looks out for everybody else. And it was a wonderful place for us to end up, my fiance and I. And, I grew up in a small town, like I mentioned earlier, and I thought that was a close-knit community. It was a town of 3,000 people, so quite a bit smaller than Ashland. We didn't even have a traffic light. So when I come to Ashland and I realize that this is a tighter community than the one I had grown up in, I don't think it's difficult to see why I've fallen in love with this community quite as much as I have. It is a wonderful, wonderful place to be. So, we need a new voice for Ashland, I think. We need a voice that is younger, that can express useful ideas. One of the earlier questions was, how can we involve youth community, and is this just going to be a community to retire in? And I said, why not both? We have a fantastic representation now, but if we want to get the youth involved, we need to make sure that the youth are getting involved, and so that's one of the reasons why I'm running here today. Very early on in the campaign process, I was asked, so why should we vote for you? And I had this moment of panic. Why would I vote for me? And it gave me a lot of thought, and I realized that, why would I vote for me? It's because I want to make sure that the people of Ashland are involved. I want to make sure that they're involved at every level, that we have somebody speaking in favor of youth involvement, that we have somebody speaking in favor of the arts, that we have somebody who's not been involved with the town for so many years that, like Mayor Pritchard said, she has a lot of institutional memory, and some of it she might want to get rid of. I don't have that institutional memory. I'm seeing this all as somebody who is new and somebody who can come with a new perspective and a new voice. And I'll make sure that the voice that I have is clear and direct, and I look forward very much to working with all of you as we move towards Ashland's future. Thank you.